everybody, and welcome back to Lil Troyer Farm. It's been probably about 10 days, I think, since I've given you guys an update, and probably a few of you are wondering, well, how's Ladybug doing? And maybe even fewer of you are wondering, how's the rest of the farm doing? It's been kind of a crazy past couple weeks. I've been just kind of up and down and all around and just trying to cope with lots of stuff going on. Actually, just this morning, I was at the doctor's office and discovered that I do have a sinus infection as a result of several viruses over the course of the summer, and so now I get to enjoy antibiotics for 10 to 14 days, which is super joyful. But hopefully we can get on the right track as far as just my immune system goes and just life in general, finding a balance for all of the good stuff and making room for the things that are most important in my life. Ladybug is doing just fine. She has adjusted really, really well to being in a large pen. If you missed the last video of watching her rip around and enjoy some extra space, make sure you go check out this video. I'll link it right here. And then you can keep up with all of what's happening around this little farm. She is still getting regular tape changes. Usually I try to do it every 3 or 4 days, but of course sometimes life gets busy and one piece will fall off or whatever. But I try to keep up with changing the tape so she's always has some good support. If you missed out on the whole explanation of her crooked legs, there is another video on that as well. But the basic information is just that her legs were crooked. This can be because of perhaps improper prenatal care that her mother received or did not receive when she was pregnant with Ladybug. And so there can be different reasons for foals being born with crooked legs. Sometimes it can even be just how they were positioned in their mama or how fast they were born, so many different things. But we began taping her at fairly young. I want to say that it was around 3 weeks. We are right around the 2-month mark for taping her legs. And while they aren't perfect yet, we have definitely seen some huge improvements with just those legs straightening out. Again, they're not perfect yet, but she's still growing. She's not even 3 months old yet, and really they can go through a lot of changes in the first 6 months of their life. So we're just gonna keep on going, keep on taping these legs, hopefully get her as straight as we can get her, to be honest. I don't really know how else to explain it. Like, there's a chance that she won't ever be 100% straight, but she has already made significant strides to being just so much better than how we started. So she doesn't necessarily love this process, but she is learning how to stand still. You saw her before when I was trying to position her. I gave her some bumps on the lead rope. I try not to be too rough with her, but she also at the same time needs to realize that she needs to respect what I'm asking and to respect my space and not just to get away with shenanigans. You can see her ears. She's really listening and being like, what is going on? What are you doing down there, human? And she's not scared, but she's kind of being inquisitive. She's curious. She's kind of like, I don't really know what's happening, but it should be fine because I trust you. And so it's all part of a learning process for her, really. And I don't know, maybe it's a good thing that we have had to tape her all this time because it's forced us to be so much more hands-on with her and just teaching her those good manners, teaching her that respect, as well as even just halter training very, very young. And so she has come to really bond with us. We get to see a lot of her spunky and sassy personality, and we love her for it. Try to imagine her being like a toddler who is being told to sit still, and she just kind of doesn't want to sit still. She's like, "You're tickling my legs, stop messing around with me." She's just fine, but she does have to learn how to just sit and be patient, just like any one of us do. So I always start with the long strip of tape that starts on the inside of her knee and runs all the way down, almost close to even the hairline of her hoof. I secure it with that bright pink wide tape above her knee. I just find that it seems to give it a bit of extra support so that it doesn't pull and roll down as quickly. I mean, it does. It does come off, which is why you do have to change it out every 3 or 4 days because it loses its stickiness, it loses that tension, and you just need to replace it. So I do that pink loop around above her knee. I do another one right below the knee. And because she's crooked all the way down her pastern, I'm actually doing another loop around just above her ankle and then one right below her ankle as well. So there's 4 different places where I'm taping. With some foals where they just kind of need some correcting, I've seen like the article that was written with this Vetkin kinesiology tape. They only tape them right above the knee and then have that side piece going down to just below their knee, and then they wrap it one more time below their knee. I'm kind of going overboard here just because I think she needs some extra support. The breeder who has had good luck taping crooked foals, she really recommended that I just keep taping her in 4 places just to give her all the support that we can. It's basically just a rinse and repeat with the left front leg as well. I lined up that blue strip to come from above her knee all the way down to just right above her hoof line there, and I fasten it, secure it on top with that wide pink tape, and then I keep working my way down. So I guess another update with Ladybug is that she went down from 3 milk feeds a day to only 2 milk feeds a day, and then we have started dropping her down to only 1 milk feed a day just because she is eating a ton of hay, and we give her a lot of really good high quality full grain or full feed as well. And she's a thick girl. She's nice and chunky, and so she's nearing that 3-month-old mark, which is what the vet recommended to be the earliest that she could be weaned off of milk. And so as we near that and her milk needs lessen, we're slowly starting to adjust her to less milk, and she is doing really, really well with eating lots of solids. And so hopefully we can wean her completely off of milk, replace her soon. Ultimately, we're just wanting what's best for her, and so we kind of just take it one day at a time and go based off of what we see her needs are. I feel like that didn't really come out properly, but we just gauge it with what she needs, and we try to think about her first. Yes, preparing milk is kind of a pain, and it's kind of annoying, and there's extra dishes, and it's just an extra step versus just, tossing some grain into a pan. We do want to do what's best for her, but because she is absolutely thriving, we're not super concerned about, the extra calories from the milk or the fat from the milk. She's getting lots of other good stuff from other areas, like a good alfalfa hay, as well as a really high quality grain. And so we're really not that concerned just because she's developing so well. The transition from her small stall and small pen to the larger pen with Charlie the pony as well as Breeze my mare has been so good for this little foal. My goodness, she has changed in a lot of really good ways. Just her whole temperament has changed. Oops, I scared her a little bit there. A little bit on the jerky side with her lead. I was trying to get her not to step out. But she is responding a lot better to pressure. She's a lot more respectful of your space. And overall, she just seems to have a calmer demeanor, especially since being with Breeze. As I've mentioned before, Charlie seems to be a very jittery and kind of just scared all the time. I have mentioned before, he kind of has been bounced around from home to home. And originally he was a rescue pony, And so there's some very obvious trauma that he has faced in the past, and so I'm not really sure how much of his trauma and response to me walking out into the pen it has been starting to seep into how Ladybug has been responding to us. But since bringing in a calmer mare, Breeze specifically, I've really seen some positive changes in her whole temperament, which has been really, really encouraging to see. As well as she's just gaining more experience. She's starting to act like a horse. She's starting to just learn what it means to interact with a herd of other horses. Ultimately, she is a horse. She's not a dog, she's not a puppy, she's not a kitten. I've mentioned this before where we have really tried right from the beginning with her as an orphan to not coddle her. She needs to learn how to be a real horse, because if she just acts like a big puppy dog and a big teddy bear, when she's 1,000 pounds and pushing people over, she becomes a dangerous animal. And I refuse to let that happen with her, just because if for some reason we're not her owners down the road, maybe something changes in our lives, I don't want to set her up for failure, which is why I treat every opportunity with her as an opportunity to do some training. Here I'm just working with her front legs, showing her how to lift them up. I need to do some more work with her back legs and lifting and responding to pressure with her back legs as well. We take every opportunity as a chance to teach her how to be respectful, because I think that's where a lot of folks who maybe don't know what they're doing, they just think, oh, an orphan foal, that's so cute and I just want to cuddle them. Trust me, she is so soft and so sweet, and all I want to do is just cuddle her too. But at the same time, I have to think about 8 months down the road when she's a very big animal all of a sudden. And I can't have her bullying my children around, and I can't have her bullying anybody around. She needs to learn how to be respectful. She needs to learn how to respond to pressure. She needs to be a real horse, because that is what she is. That being said, I absolutely love on her. I absolutely give her scratches, and I show her that it is good and pleasant to be close by me, but there are boundaries. It's no different than with my human children. I teach them that there are boundaries. There's boundaries to keep them safe, and there's boundaries to keep me safe. So if my child is repeatedly hitting me, well, now my body is not safe anymore, and so I need to teach my children why hitting is actually not kind and it's giving somebody else an outie, right? It's no different than drawing a boundary with a dog, drawing boundaries with a horse. They have to learn that if they cross this boundary, then somebody's going to get hurt. And most likely, because of the size difference here, it's going to be me that gets hurt. And so that's why these foundational things start now.
I did already. I might have to. Mom, Daddy's gonna get me over here.
You're okay.
What?
I said you're okay.
There. Look at that. You got 2 operating stock waters.
Look at that. And I've got a little filly that's leading.
Mom, she's doing good.
She's doing good. Look at her go, hey?
She has learned that
You're watering it?
you're the boss of her, right?
Oh.
Yeah, she's learning that she's got to listen to a little bit of pressure. Back up. Good girl. She's very responsive.
So when it's end, then I just push that button?
Is that water?
The rectangle? Okay.
Just maybe a little bit longer.
Okay. I can do that, definitely. And why did she step on my foot?
She was trying to get away of the sound of the splashing water.
Is there water in there?
Girl, Ladybug.
After
None of that, though. Yeah.
she likes that, Mom.
Yeah. She's so big.
Oh, I forgot this number now.
Mommy.
Yeah.
After the video, then can I take a few pictures of some things? Then can I?
Listen, I'm gonna lead her straight towards you, okay?
What?
Don't make the mud do ya. Ready? You can see those legs. Her hooves aren't great, hey? They're kind of bubbly.
Oh.
I'm still videoing, Mom.
Fingers out of the way, Brielle. Yeah, her heels are long, hun.
I don't see I don't see my fingers in the way, Mom. They're not in the way.
What's not in the way?
My fingers.
Okay.
I don't even see them in the video. Can I be done now?
Straighten it up.
Well, can I be done now?
Watch her follow right behind me.
Well, can I, Mom?
Yeah, that's fine. This day left me feeling so hopeful about Ladybug's future. Not only was she beginning to lead like an absolute champion, she is just looking so good. Just physically wise, she is a solid and stout little filly, and I really am excited to see how she grows up and how she turns out. I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely been a lot of days where I've told my husband, oh man, I'm worried. Like, I don't know what kind of temperament she's gonna have. She went through, some days and weeks where she was just hard to handle. I saw a lot of just really, not great temperament traits that were coming out, and I was like, oh, I really hope that this isn't gonna be a long-term thing. But we've just been consistent with how we've handled her. We've been consistent with how we've been training her, and I think that potentially the hard work is finally starting to pay off, and we're really starting to see a sweet little filly emerge. We genuinely have just wanted the best for her from the beginning, and like I said, I think we're finally starting to see a lot of fruit out of our labor, and it feels wonderful to be able to know that, for the past almost 3 months now, that it's been worth it, and that we can just keep on moving forward because we have a renewed sense of purpose and also, a lot of hope for the future for this little girl. It's funny to watch all three of these guys interact. So this black and white paint mare, this is Breeze, the one that is the mother to Jitterbug. And the three of them have been getting along pretty well. The dynamics are a little bit funky because Charlie the pony actually likes to beat up on Breeze, which I don't really appreciate, but we'll get it figured out one way or another. He also doesn't need as much as far as nutrition goes, and so that's another area that we are having to adjust and try to figure out, just because he tends to overeat and then Breeze and Ladybug potentially won't get enough. So here's that fancy automatic waterer that you may have heard my husband mention. This was not the way that I left it before. What on earth are you doing? So the only ones in this pen was Breeze and Charlie and Ladybug. That was it. And now somehow there's Dottie and Raven and Jitterbug, who is not doing well apparently with this process of weaning. And I think you are the problem, because Jitterbug's been just fine and you have been trying to get out to her. But where I'm confused is that they couldn't come in through that way. Oh, now I see it. Now I see it. They came in through here. They busted this panel. Jeepers. Alright, well, I didn't do a video the other day when my husband fixed this. It's just temporary until we can order in some more of this thicker plank. So this is like a 2x6, I think. What is this? Whatever it is, my brain's not functioning. And this is just skinny 1x plank, which, a horse kicks that and they'll bust through it. So these guys are spoiled rotten. They get extra hay and grub. Not that Charlie needs it, but Breeze desperately does. Now that Breeze is in here with Ladybug, I could just kick Charlie out. But I don't know. He needs more interaction, and I'd rather not have to chase him around out in a big pasture. But yeah, still working out what we're doing with Charlie here. And then Miss Jitterbug, yeah, you right there. You're just fine. You don't need your mama. Did you scuff your nose? Why do you have to scuff your nose? I love their little whiskers on their nose. So cute. She's doing just fine. She's massive, so she really does not need mama. I do need to haul her to my parents just so she can eat grass all the time instead of just twice a day. So, Grace, how did you end up with that? There is no grain in there. My stash of things. Oh, goodness. We're rationing hay, and I would rather not be feeding everybody hay yet, but here we are. Breeze, are you being picky? She desperately needs to be brushed out. But she's not, well, because her foal got in with her, she's actually looking pretty full, unfortunately. But she's not leaking or anything. It really messes them up when you separate them and then, like, she didn't get full for the first 2 days or 3 days, I think, and then they got back together again somehow, and then separated them again for like 2 days, and then they busted through the fence and got back together again, and now she's full. So obviously Jitterbug started nursing like crazy when she was with her mama, brought Breeze's milk back up again, and that's just so hard on Breeze, which is why I'm weaning Jitterbug. Like, she's 5.5 months old. Some people wait till 8 or 9 months if the mare looks good, but in my mind, Breeze needs some time to recover, and she needs time to put on some weight, especially because winter is looming. Temperatures are dropping very, very quickly, and so I really need her in better body condition just so she doesn't have a hard time over the winter. Miss Ladybug's doing good too. She just drank a bunch of milk. Look at your face. You got milk face. Hi, honey. Hi. Aw. You're so funny. So cute.